Hi everybody, MAW00001 with another review video, and this one is a little bit different to the other review videos I've done. I've got a bit bored of doing just DC comics, so I thought I would mix and match. Um, as always, my own opinion, make up your own opinion, enjoy the comics that you read, and so on and so forth. Um, we'll still start off with as far as I'm concerned, the worst comics of the week, but we won't dwell on those much. Um, why bother dwelling on the bad side of things when you can look at the good stuff, really? So here we go, and these are the very worst comics: Hawk and Dove, Green Arrow, Justice League International, Batwing, Static Shock, Stormwatch, Men of War, and X Club. Really, these comics aren't worth your money. Don't bother, because you'll just be disappointed. They are really terrible comics, and you know they should not be on anybody's pull or anybody's shelf or anything. They are just no. Don't bother. Right, Huntress. The artwork's really nice in this. I think that is really a really bad thing about this comic, because the artwork is really nice. I love the artwork. It's just a pity that there's no story to it. Um, it could be a really good comic. Just unfortunately the wrong writers on it, I think, or he's just decided to give the wrong story to the wrong character. Action Comics. Yeah, I'm still not getting this. Grant Morrison, not at his best. Um, Artwork in it is still nice, but like I always say, you cannot sell a good comic with just decent artwork alone. Sorry Grant, but this is not your best work. I am looking forward to the Avengers comic that's coming out by you though soon. I think it's in January, so that looks interesting. Uncanny X-Men #2. It was okay. Gorgeous artwork inside. Really interesting story. Did they really have to cancel the old numbering Uncanny X-Men just so they could, start off at #1 again and make a story like this? I mean, this is just a typical X-Men story, really. Still okay, but there are better things out there. And now we get to the ones that I think you should actually be buying, especially if you've got some spare change. This is Villains for Hire. It's a 4-issue miniseries by Marvel. It's in the same vein as the Heroes for Hire comic that's coming out at the same time. And strange enough, this one is villains. It starts off with a heist, of an armoured car, as you would think, but turns out that there's actually two factions of villains that are working on this. To get the stuff into in the armoured car and that. Really interesting premise, really interesting story, gorgeous artwork inside, and yeah, pick it up if you've got some spare change. The Defenders. I really enjoyed this. It's basically the Hulk goes to Doctor Strange to ask for help. So it's something that's going to be pretty big and pretty bad if the Hulk needs help with something. And this is just the beginning of the series where Doctor Strange goes around the world collecting all the new Defenders heroes, which comprise of Prince Namor, Silver Surfer, Red She-Hulk, and Iron Fist. And yeah, it's a really interesting comic. Really nice, lovely artwork inside. Really interesting comic. Pick it up. OMAC. This comic can be a little bit hit and miss, but this issue was pretty good. I know a lot of people are saying the artwork in there by Keith Giffen is very Kirby-esque and all that, but like I said with the last issue, I'm seeing, if you've ever read the newest comic I know of that he's done is the Bulletproof Coffin, and the artist is Shaky Kane. If you've ever seen any Shaky Kane artwork, there is definitely some glimpses of that in this comic. I mean, yeah, okay, Shaky Kane was quite Kirby-esque as well, but You know, brilliant comic, really fun. Pick it up. Detective Comics. I am enjoying this now. The first issue was a bit meh. Why, but this is starting to pick up, and it is at least as good as, I think, Batman. Um, the artwork inside is really nice. You know, you are gripped to find out who. Um, what is happening in the story, and that it's not easy to sort of like talk about a comic and not give away any spoilers, which is what I'm trying to do. But no, Detective Comics is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't picked it up, start picking it up. See if you can get the other issues because it's really good. Red Lanterns. I've liked Red Lanterns since the beginning. There's quite a few people out there that haven't liked it, but I've always thought this was a really good comic. The artwork inside is really gorgeous, and it's I just find it a really interesting concept that, I mean, you don't actually get many. These lanterns don't make energy constructs or anything like that when they battle. They just puke fire on people and kill them. These are lanterns that have no real remorse or pity for anybody. They're just pure rage and pure vengeance, and I think it's just a really interesting concept. So yeah, Red Lanterns, really good comic. Talking about avenging, it's Avenging Spider-Man #2, which has got Spider-Man and the Red Hulk, or Rolk, I think as some people know him. Yeah, it's a fun Spider-Man comic. If anybody remembers the Marvel team-ups from the 1970s that Marvel was bringing out, this is basically, from what I understand, the 21st century version of Marvel team-ups. Every so many issues you get a story arc, and then at the end of at the beginning of the next story arc, Spidey teams up with another superhero. Artwork's really nice. This one involves the Mole Man and all the mole people from the underground, and yeah, good story, good comic. The Boys 61. It's Garth Ennis. What more do you need to know? This comic just gets madder and more violent and crazier and much more fantastic and brilliant every issue I pick up. If you're not buying this, see if you can pick up the trades, because it is just a fantastic comic, and there are so many good things I could say about this. The artwork is always brilliant in it. The stories are absolutely amazing. This is the beginning now of the last but one story arc, because I believe this comic's finishing with issue 70. So it's going to probably cost you a fair bit to pick up the back issues, but if you can pick up the trades for this, I would definitely say do that and start getting the boys from issue 62, I imagine. Amazing Spider-Man. This is the second part of the Vulture story that's just come out of Spider Island, and I think it's good. It's a completely different pace of story, obviously, because you've just had this great big crossover event with Spider Island with all the superheroes and everybody in Manhattan becoming Spider-Man with spider powers. But I think even though even though it is a steadier paced story and it's a shorter story, it still is a very interesting and intriguing story. I've heard people say that after Spider Island they were going to drop Spider-Man because they didn't think that it was going to be any good. But no, this story was spot on for a little sort of like pre-Spider Island story. Really good. And the Penguin, Pride and Prejudice. Again, this is one of those comics that just gets better and better as it goes along. In this one, the Penguin finds somebody who basically can't see him. She's blind. She sees him per se as a gentleman rather than the horrible, vile, malicious little person that he is. We all know what's going to happen next. Something's going to happen that's going to cheese him off with her, and he's going to have his revenge with her some way or other. We know this is going to happen because it's happened with women before, and that's had anything to do with the Penguin. They've somehow cheesed him off. He's ended up taking revenge because he doesn't like people cheesing him off too much. And yeah, but this comic is just dark, but it's good. Jennifer Blood, another Garth Ennis comic, and this one, again, is one that just gets better and better. This is, if you remember Garth Ennis on The Punisher Max and everything, this is The Punisher with estrogen, basically. But it is more violent than The Punisher Max. This is, I would imagine, this is how The Punisher would have been if Garth Ennis was allowed to have complete reign over what he did and how he used the character of The Punisher. Jennifer Blood is a fantastic story to read. The artwork in it is absolutely lovely and gorgeous. It's it is really funny, even though it's about a vigilante that goes around and killing mob people. It is a funny story as well. Jennifer Blood, thumbs up. The Strange Talents of Luther Strode is, unfortunately, a 6-issue miniseries. I want this to be an ongoing series. I mean, obviously, this is only issue 3, so I don't know what's going to be happening for the next 3 issues. That, I mean, for all I know, in issue 6, everybody dies. Who knows? But this comic is just absolutely fantastic. I can't praise it. This is definitely one of the best comics that come out this week. The artwork in it is a little bit, iffy, but it does go with the story, and it doesn't deter. Even the bad parts for the artwork doesn't take away from the story of the comic. It is a fantastic read. See if you can pick up issues 1 and 2, because what I believe issue 1's already come up for its 3rd printing, so it's pretty sought after. Great comic, and the best 2. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised with this. Number 2, Swamp Thing. I love Swamp Thing. I've liked Swamp Thing since I first read it when Alan Moore wrote it. I liked Swamp Thing when was it Rachel Pollack wrote it as well. Yeah. I went back and I've picked up some of the old original Swamp Thing comics. It is just a brilliant character, and this comic is just forging this character on into the 21st century. It is just a really well written, beautifully drawn comic, and yes, you can, like Ghost Critic has said, you can definitely see that this comic is going to be intertwined with Animal Man so much, and that's why, that's not the only reason why, but that's why Animal Man is number 1 this week, and has been every week for the last 4 weeks this time of month. It is just an absolutely fantastic comic, absolutely fantastic story. The artwork is a little bit iffy in some places, but it's like the Luther Strode comic and the Swamp Thing comic. It goes. It's one of those things where yes, it is a bit, the artwork can slip a little bit, but it goes so well with the story. I don't honestly think this comic could have been drawn by anybody else. I think anybody like Alex Ross or the other top artists and that, whose names just leave my mind at the moment, wouldn't fit in with this comic. They would have made it look too clean, and that's something this comic is not clean. Just a special note on 2 comics that I have read this week, but I haven't got any covers for. You have Crossed Psychopath number 6, which I have read, but I couldn't find any covers that would be probably allowed to be put on here by YouTube. Brilliant comic, the sickest comic I think I've ever read, as in the most vilest comic I've ever read, but fantastic read. And Hypergirl, which again, a really fun comic, absolutely great. Artwork's a bit iffy, but it is a really good read, a fun comic to read if you can pick up Hypergirl. Well, thanks very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, with all these videos, remember, any comics that you buy and read, make sure you enjoy them. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Ta-ta for now.